Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to make a WordPress website step by step. If you've never made a WordPress website before, don't worry. You don't need to know any kind of coding or have any kind of special programs to do this. You're going to be able to follow along this video on your own computer, and by the end of it, you're going to have your very own custom, unique website. I'm going to show you everything that you need to do step by step. I'm going to teach you how to get your domain name, which is the name of your website, and your hosting, which is how to get your website to show up online. I'm going to teach you how to create pages for your website and your website's menu. I'm going to show you how to make sure your website looks professional on desktops and on mobile devices. I'm going to teach you how to get free professional images to use on your website. And if you don't have a logo yet, I'm going to show you how to make your very own custom logo. Everything is going to be super simple, easy peasy, and step by step. Just follow along this video, and by the end, you're going to have your very own custom and unique website. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is get our domain name and our hosting. So we're going to have the name of our website and the place where our website is going to be on the internet. So to do that, we're going to go to hostgator.com. Just like that, and we're going to pull up the website. Should look a little like this. Sometimes they redesign the website, but it should be like this. So you can click Get Started, or you can click Hosting and click here where it says Shared Hosting. They'll both take you to this plans page. So they have a couple of different plans that they offer: the hatchling plan, baby plan, and business plan. To get started for your very first website, the hatchling plan has everything you need. If in the future you want a plan that includes more extras, you can upgrade at any time, but for a normal website, the hatchling plan is going to be perfect. So we're going to go ahead and click Buy Now. So on this page, we can pick the domain name, so the name of your website. And you can type any name here. It's possible that you might pick a name that is already taken up. So for example, if I try google.com, it's going to say that that domain is not available anymore. So you can try a couple of times in case yours is not available. If you already have a domain with a different company, you can click here where it says I already own this domain and plug in the domain that you already own. And all it's going to do is ask you a couple of extra steps to verify that you actually own that domain. But since this is a brand new website, we're going to start with a brand new domain. So my domain is going to be Learn to Make a Website. And here you can choose if you want it to be .com or .online, .store, .website, .tech. There's a lot of different ones, .net, that you can use, but I like to use .com. That's the one that most people are familiar with. So we've found a domain that is available, and we can scroll down to follow up on the next steps. So the next thing we're going to see, we see here that they're charging us for something called domain privacy. Basically, whenever you buy a domain, it's kind of like buying a property online. So all your information for your domain is saved on Hostgator's storage, and sometimes you can get like emails offering you sales and things like that, and you can pay extra to make your domain information private. But I personally don't use it. I just ignore any kind of spam emails or spam calls that I get. So I'm not gonna purchase that right now. Okay, we're gonna keep scrolling down. The next thing we're going to do is choose a hosting plan. We already picked the hatchling plan, just make sure that's the correct one. And here you can choose for how many months you want to buy it. So you can buy a lot of months at the same time, and they give you a little bit of a higher discount if you buy a lot at once, but it can be kind of expensive when you're getting started. So I'm going to start just with 1 month, which is the most affordable option. And it renews every month. Okay, so the next option is to create your Hostgator account. So you're going to plug in here your email address and confirm it, and then you're going to set up a password. So I already have an account with Hostgator, but I made a new Gmail just to show you guys every single step. Next, you're going to set up a PIN. Make sure it's a PIN that you won't forget and that is a little bit safer than this one. I'm just going to use this one for the demonstration of this video. Next, we're going to plug in our billing information, so how we're going to pay for this domain and hosting. So you're going to fill this out as well, and you're going to plug in your credit card information, the one that you want to use for the purchase. You can leave the company blank if you don't have a company. That is perfectly fine. So I'm not going to fill this out obviously right now, but you would plug this in. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down to the next step, which is additional services that you can add to your website. So we don't need a lot of these. A lot of these we can add ourselves when we start working on the website. So we can uncheck this secure website lock thing, and we can uncheck this backup thing because we can do those things ourselves on our website. Alright, so we're going to scroll down. Here is our total. It's $23.90. And sometimes Hostgator will give you a promo code automatically, but I'm actually going to give you a different promo code that's going to make it even cheaper. That code is BIGSAVE. And if we click validate, that should update the price. When you type in the promo code, make sure you put it in all caps just to make sure that it works properly. So it goes down to just $13.75. So for just $13.75, you can have your website online, ready to go, and ready to have people start finding it. So the next thing we're going to do is click here to agree to the terms of service, and then we're going to click checkout now. And then you'll see this page that says that they're getting ready to set up your account, and we'll wait a few minutes here. And then it'll take you to this little survey page. We can just skip this for now. And then it'll take you to this landing page. We'll scroll all the way down and click go to dashboard. This is your WordPress dashboard. We're going to scroll down here and we're going to click here where it says launch cPanel. So this is where we're going to find the WordPress tool to build our website. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see right here it says WordPress installer. If for some reason you can't see it, you can type WordPress into the search bar and it'll pull it up wherever it is. So we're going to click right here where it says WordPress installer, and it's going to ask you what domain you want to put your website on, and we're going to pick the domain that we just bought, or whichever domain you want to put it on if you have more than one. Directory, we're going to leave blank, and this is how much they would normally charge you if you wanted them to set this up for you. So you've already saved this money right here. So you got the domain, leave the directory blank, and then we're going to go ahead and click next. Alright, so now we're going to create a title for our blog. It says blog, but really this is going to be the WordPress website. So we can title our website. I'm just going to write website. For admin user, you're going to write whatever username you want to have. I'm just going to write admin. Then type in your first name and last name. And the email you want all the information to be connected with. Then make sure this is already checked and click to agree to the terms of service. Next, click install. So now Hostgator is going to start setting up our website, and it just finished. Okay, so our WordPress installation is complete. So if we highlight and copy our domain name, and let's try to open it in another tab, you should see something like this. Now, if it shows up blank or you get an empty page, don't worry. Sometimes it can take up to an hour for Hostgator to set everything up in the back end, so that's okay, don't worry. But within 1 hour, you should see something similar to this. Sometimes they change the layout and the colors of this page, but you should see something like a coming soon or something like that, or some kind of WordPress template at least. So now we're ready to actually log in. You should get a copy of this information to your email, but I like to always keep it safe. We're going to change this password to something that's easy to remember, but this is they're going to send you they're going to provide you with a demo password. So to log in, we're going to come back to our website tab, and we're going to add /WP-admin to the end. So that stands for WordPress admin, and we're going to hit enter. And that's going to go to the login page of our website. So username and password, we know that our username is admin. It's what I wrote. You might have written something different. It's here. And you want to go ahead and copy your password and paste it in to here and click enter. And this is going to log us into the back end of our website. Alright, so it should log in just like this. You can save your password. So this is the back end of my website, and there's a little error up here. You might not see this on your end. Mine seems to have had a little glitch, but don't worry, we're going to fix all of that part of the process. In case you have this error, we're going to go through that as well. So if we click right here where it says website, we can see what our website actually looks like visually. So this is what our website looks like right now. It's pretty plain. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of all the bloatware that comes with the website. So just like when you buy a phone and it comes with a lot of pre-installed apps, when you install WordPress, it comes with a lot of pre-installed things that we don't really need. To go back to our dashboard, we're going to click on the top left where it says the name of our website. And even on my install, it looks like that kind of stuff actually created an error, and that could happen to you too. So we're going to go to plugins right here on the left hand side. And you see all these ads and pop-ups, all those things are coming from those pre-installed plugins. So we're going to scroll down, and these are all the plugins that are pre-installed. We're going to check right here to highlight them all, and we're going to click deactivate and apply. And then we're going to click here again, and we're going to click delete and apply. And OK. And that's going to delete all these extra plugins that we don't really need right now. All right, they are all deleted. And if I go back to my dashboard here, you see that those errors that were up here are no longer there. So because they add so many default plugins, sometimes you can get little errors when you load up your website. But don't worry, it's no big deal. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is make sure that everything on our website is up to date. That way we can work on our website and know that everything will work smoothly. To do that, we're going to click on the top left on this little update button right here, showing us that there's one update available, and that is an update to WordPress itself. It's letting us know that we cannot update to the latest version of WordPress because our PHP version is too old. Most of you watching won't have this issue because Hostgator is pretty good about always having the most recent version of PHP installed. But in case some of you watching do see this error, let me show you how to update your PHP. It only takes 1 minute. We're going to go back here to Hostgator dashboard, and we're going to open cPanel again. And that's going to refresh that page. We're going to scroll down all the way to software, the software tab, which is right here, software. And we're going to click here where it says multi-PHP manager. And it's only one more step. We're going to check our domain. And here where it says PHP version, just choose the largest number, so 74, and apply. And that's going to be a 7.4, which is the newest one. All right, successfully applied. Now if we go back to our WordPress tab and refresh here, we should see that that's not an issue anymore. Great, and now we see that it says update now. So let's go ahead and update WordPress. And if you didn't have this PHP issue, you can just click update WordPress right away without having to do any extra step. Okay, and WordPress has finished updating. And we're almost ready to start designing our website and doing the fun part. There's only 2 things we need to do. Just reset the password so that it can be a password that's easy for you to remember, and set up how the links on our website will work. Only those 2 things. So let's do those right away so we can start having fun in designing our website. First thing we're going to do is go to Users on the left menu. And this is the user we created. We're going to click Edit. And we can scroll down to the bottom where it says Generate Password. Now it'll try to recommend one for you, but you can erase that one. And you can plug in a password that will be easy for you to remember, your own password. Just like that. And you can click Update Profile to save the password. And we have updated our password. Now, all we have to do is change those links, and then we can start designing our website. So to do that, we're going to go to Settings, and we're going to go here where it says Permalinks. And pretty much all this is doing, you know how sometimes you go to a website and it has a bunch of crazy text at the end? We don't want our website to have that. Here's an example. So some websites have like / the date, the year, the name, or maybe just some random symbols. We don't want that. We just want to have the name of the website page. So if we make an about page, we want it to be ourwebsite.com/about. So we're going to choose here post name to do that. And then we're going to click Save Changes. And that was the last step in doing the setup of our website. Now we're ready to start working on the design. So we can go ahead and close out of these other two tabs already. And the first thing we're going to do for our design is pick a theme. So we're going to go here to Appearances and Themes. Now we're going to make our website completely custom, but the theme helps us set up the header, the footer, the menu, and the basic structure of the website to help us get started. So we're going to click Add New, and we're going to search for a theme that I like called Astra, and click Enter. And it's this one right here, Astra. Don't confuse it with Astral, Astra. And we're going to click Install, and then we're going to click Activate. And this theme is now activated, and it's pretty much only going to help us with like the menu layout and basic website layouts. It's not going to create a bunch of design for us. So if we go back to our website by clicking on the title, we can see that it actually changed a little bit. We've got a little link over here for a sample page. Our website title is up here. It says Hello World here. There's some stuff here on the side. So it changed a little bit from what it looked like before, and there's a footer down here. That's pretty much all the theme did. Now we actually want to start working on our layout and how our website is going to look. So we're going to click on the title of our website to go back to the dashboard, and we're going to install some plugins that are going to help us design our website. Plugins are basically like apps that you can install on your website, just like you install apps on your phone. So we're going to go and click on Plugins, and we deleted the ones the website came with. We're going to add our own ones that are more useful. We're going to go ahead and click Add New, and there's two plugins that we're going to install. The first one is called Astra Starter Sites. Okay, and it's this one right here. Just make sure you choose the one. They update the logo and the name sometimes, so it might look a little bit different if they've updated it. Just make sure it's this one that has a lot of installs. It has a good rating, and it's by this author. And we're going to click Install Now, and then we're going to click Activate. And now the plugin has been added to our website. So next we're going to click Add New, and we're going to add one more plugin. And this plugin is going to help us put our website as under construction, so that if somebody comes to your website while you're working on it, they don't see your website half built. You know, they just see that it's under construction. So the plugin is called Under Construction, and we're going to search for it. And there's a lot of different ones. The one that I like to use is this one right here with the little gear, Under Construction. We're going to click Install and Activate. Alright, so now we have the two plugins that we need. So let's go ahead and turn on Under Construction mode, just so that if anybody pulls up our website while we're working on it, they don't see, you know, everything all over the place. We can publish our website when it's done and make it go live. So you'll see this new option on the top called Under Construction. All you want to do is turn that on. And now if someone comes to your website, they won't see what you're working on. They'll see something like this. Let me show you by opening a new incognito window. Okay, so let me bring that in here, and let me go to my website. So this is what they'll see. So they won't see your website as you're building it. They'll see this. And then when your website is done, we'll turn that off as one of the last steps. So we can close out of here. All right, so let's start looking at the different designs that are available. So there's two things that I'm going to show you. First, I'm going to show you how to use a pre-made layout to kind of get your stuff started and work from that. That's the easier way to do it. Now these layouts, you can customize them and make them whatever you want. They have infinite amount of customization. They're just kind of like a starting point to help you get the ball rolling. And I'm also going to show you how to make a page from scratch, so that you have every option, whether you need something fast or whether you want to take your time and make something 100% custom. So we're going to click here where it says See Library, and it's going to ask us what website or page builder we want to use. I recommend using Elementor. It's the easiest one, but it's also the one that lets you do the most customizations. Elementor really is the best one, so that's the one that we're going to use. So we're going to click here on Elementor, and these are all the layouts that they have available. So first thing we're going to do is go here to where it says All, and we're going to check free just to see the free ones, because there are some more premium ones that you can purchase, but we're just going to use the free ones because we can customize it however we want, and we really can make anything just with this starting point. So these are all the different layouts that you can see, and I just want to let you guys know that all of these layouts were made using the same plugin, Elementor, which we're going to install now. So even though all of these look really different, you could download this one and customize it and make it look exactly like this. They were all made using the same thing. So even if you don't see a layout that is exactly your idea or your business, it doesn't matter. We can replace all the text, all the fonts, all the pictures, all the colors. We can customize it and make it look 100% different. Pretty much this is just a starting point so that you can have your title and kind of a layout with a picture and a heading and those kinds of things, but you can customize it and make it look completely different. So as an example, we can scroll down here and you can pick whichever one you like. I recommend following along just to make it easier for yourselves. So I'm going to pick this one here that says industry, one industry. So I'm going to make my website about planet Earth and nature. And you can click any of these to open them up. So I'm going to click right here on industry. And here we can see what each page looked like. So this is the home page preview right here. And you can see there is also an about page. And you can preview that one as well. They have a products page. They have a projects page. And they have a contact page. But maybe your website is going to have different pages. Maybe you can have home, about us, services instead of product, and maybe a gallery instead of projects. That's okay. We can rename these pages. We can change what they're about. This is just like a skeleton for our website. We can change everything about it. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to choose this layout, and you'll see that even though this layout is kind of for like industry and business, I'm going to convert it and make it about nature. And you can do the same thing. You can make it about whatever idea you have. So once we're ready to start working on our layout, we're going to click here where it says import complete website. It's going to ask us to make sure that you have import the customizer settings, import the widgets, install the required plugins, and import the content. So there's a few plugins that we need, like Elementor, but instead of having to go back into the plugins and install those plugins ourselves, this layout will actually do all that work for us and save us a lot of time. So we're going to click right here, import. Now I'm going to fast forward this section so you guys don't have to wait through it, but it can take a couple of minutes for it to import, so don't worry, just sit back and let it do its thing. Okay, and our website has finished importing. We can click here to view our website. So this is now our same website. Here it's letting us know that it's under construction. It shows you this pop-up so that you don't finish your website and then by mistake you never actually turn off the under construction. So we can close out of here. And this is our website right now. So we have this header image and a button that says learn more. We have an about us section. We have this little list section with a title and a button and a nice background image, and I'm going to show you guys how to edit and change all of this. We have some services that we can move around and change as well. We have a call to action here, and we have this footer with some links to different things, and here's the end of the website. And we can scroll all the way back to the top, and we can see that we also have an about page for the about us, a title, a little paragraph where you can write about yourself or your idea, some numbers, some more paragraphs here. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Maybe you don't have enough writing to fill all this out. That's fine. We can delete any section that we don't need. So maybe you only have enough writing to write one little paragraph. That's okay. I'm going to show you how to delete anything that's extra that you don't need, or just hide it and turn it off. We're going to be able to change all these fonts, all these colors, all these pictures, everything about this website, and we're also going to be able to make our own custom sections and custom pages. So let me go ahead and start showing you how exactly we're going to do that. We can see here that all the pages are here, and if you want, you can take your time and click through all of them and see how they look. But let's start from the home page. And if there's any page that you don't need or you want to change, I'm going to show you how to delete pages and add new pages and change pages. So don't worry about that. But let's get started on actually customizing our website. So we can close out of this extra tab right here. We're still on our WordPress website. It just looks really different because we installed this layout, but we're still in the same place. So to start editing our website, we're going to click here where it says edit with Elementor. Make sure you don't click edit page by mistake. That does something completely different. We're going to click here where it says edit with Elementor, and it's going to start loading up the Elementor page builder. So here we have our website again, but as you can see, some things are a little different. Whenever you hover over any item, you have these little pencil marks that show up, and you have this little toolbox on the left-hand side. So I'm going to show you how we're going to go ahead and customize every single part of this website. So first of all, let's edit some of the content on the website, the text, the images. That's what the content is. So as you can see, I can hover over everything and I get this little pencil icon, and I can click on the little pencil, and now right click is available. Okay, when we click on the little pencil, you'll see that on the left hand side the toolbar changes, and here it says the title, and I can actually change this by just typing in whatever I wanted to say, just like this. If I want to change this larger heading, I click on the pencil as well, and I can erase this and type in whatever heading I would like. The same thing goes for a button. So I can click on the button as well, and here we can see the options for the button. We have the option for text, so we can change what the button actually says, and we can choose what the button links to. So we can erase this, and WordPress and Elementor are really smart. So as soon as I start typing in the word contact, WordPress detects that there's a page on my website called contact, and it's recommending if that's the page that I want to link to. So I can click right here, and it's got to automatically add the link for me. So that way it saves us a lot of time. Now if you wanted to link to somewhere else, let's say you wanted to link to google.com, all you would have to do is copy the link and erase here and paste the link, and that button would go there to that link. In this case, I'm going to make it link to our contact page, and it's going to add the link for me. We can keep scrolling down, and we can see there's a little icon here. We can click on that as well, and you can see that we can even change the icon. So we can go here and see all the different icons that are available, and we can even type here to search, and let's see if there's one about the earth. There isn't, but maybe we can find something similar, like this leaf that's related to the earth, and I'll switch the icon by clicking insert, and now I've updated the icon. The text that follows about us, we can change that as well, and you can do this on any of the layouts that we saw previously. This heading, we can change it. This paragraph, we have a little text editing box similar to Microsoft Word, so we can actually click this toggle right here to get more options, and we can even like highlight text and make it bold, and we can choose colors like that, and we can make bullet points and all that kind of stuff right from here, which is really cool. We can edit the text in this button just like we did before and make this one link somewhere else. Even these sections that look a little bit more complicated, we can click on here and see that this is a heading that we can edit. We can click on here and see that this is a title. We can even click this little line and see that it's solid. We can see how wide it is. It's 100% of the space that it has. We can make the line smaller or bigger. We can change this heading as well and this button as well. And if we keep scrolling, same thing. If we want to replace these images, we can click on them and we can see the image, and if we want to replace it, we can click right here and we can upload an image from our computer or go to the media library, and we can choose one of the images that already came with this layout. So for example, I can choose this one and click insert, and it will replace it right there. We also have an option to get free images from BIGSAVE right here, which is really cool. And you can search for any kind of picture that you want. I'll show you a little bit more of that later. And if we want to change this title, we can click it and change the title, change this paragraph, change this heading, this button. I think you get the point. You can edit everything that this website has written or posted on it. So that's how to change the content of your website. You can also change how it looks and the style. So for example, let's go back to this first heading and we changed the content, but if we look up here, there's content and there's also style. So I can click on the style tab and we see we have more options. So for text color, we can choose a different color for our text, and you can pick any color that you want, and you can also pick how transparent that color is using this slider down here. So you can make it almost invisible or semi or solid color. So you can change the color to whatever you want. You can also click on typography. That's going to let you change the font. So maybe we want to use a different font. Let's just try this one and see what this one looks like. It looks a little bit different. Let me try to find a crazy one. Okay, this one's kind of crazy. So we can put that font, and we can increase the font size to whatever size we want, like that. The weight is how thick the font is. So we can make it really thin, and they made it a little bit thinner. Not all the fonts have all the thicknesses and the different weights. There's one that I know has it called Railway, which is this one right here. And this one can be really thin like this, or really thick like this. So you can play around with the weight and the size and the font. There's a ton of different fonts to pick from. Or you can just use the font that it comes with if you like it. You can also use this transform option. So you see how all this is capitalized automatically, even though it wasn't caps when I typed it in? Well, under transform, we can make it uppercase, we can make it lowercase, we can make it capitalized, and that capitalizes each letter. So that's a cool styling thing. Here you can make things italic. That's useful sometimes. You can add underlines and things like that with a decoration. You can also change the letter spacing like this, and the line height to make the sentences be closer together or further apart. So this is kind of easier to see on a paragraph. To set it back to the default, just hit the space bar, and that will go back to whatever the default was. Alright, and you can undo back to default if you made a mistake. So I can undo, and that goes back to the default. You can add a text shadow if you want to, but sometimes that can look a little bit tacky, so I personally don't like using text shadows that much. So that is all the styling changes that you can do for titles. You can come here to the second title and do the same thing under style. You can change its color. You can change its font to something else, to a font that you like. You can change its thickness. You can, change if it's lowercase or uppercase or any other design thing and make it look however you want. This looks really crazy. I'm going to undo that and make it white again. There you go. For the button, you get style options there as well. Actually, even more. Under style, you can choose the font of the text in the button as well, and the size of the font in it. Weight, transform, all the same things. You can add a shadow to the button if you want to. You can change the text color when you hover over it. So for example, if I do hover and I choose maybe red for the text, and the background is the actual background here, and I choose black for the background, and I had clicked hover here, you'll see that when I hover, changes. And for normal, maybe I can choose the opposite, maybe black and then red. So now the text is black and the background is red, but when I hover over it, it switches. Pretty cool. You can under hover here, you can also add animations. So maybe you want it to pop, so when I hover over it, it pops. Those are pretty cool. I'm gonna X out of those. I kind of like just the transition. You don't want it to do too many things, then it's kind of crazy. The border radius, that is this curve that you see here. So maybe you want to have buttons that are more square, so you can do something like 10. The smaller the number is, the more square it is. If I do 0, it'll be a perfect corner. And if I do 100, it'll be half a semicircle like this. Padding is the space around. So if I do 0, it's going to all crunch down on the text like that. And we can make it more like 100. And that will add a lot of space around the button. And we can even make these different. So if I click this little icon here that says link values together, if I uncheck that, Then I can say, hey, you know what? At the top, make it 20. At the bottom, make it 20 as well. And on the right, make it 30. And on the left, make it 30. And you can get the button to look however you want. And maybe I want my button to be a little bit square, but not too much. So I'll do 5, like that. And man, that's a really ugly button, but you get the idea. So let me continue to show you this icon. Same thing. If I click on the icon, there are style options for the icon as well. We can change the color of the icon. And we can see that this icon's a little bit transparent. We can actually make it solid or make it more transparent, like that. We can change the size of the icon. We can even rotate the icon. Pretty cool. And we can choose what it does when you hover over it. You can change its color, give it an animation, change its size. So maybe we want it to shrink and rotate it. And on hover, we want it to be blue. And this is kind of crazy, but I'm just showing you like how much you can customize it. So turn to blue when you hover over it. Same thing for this text. You can go to style and choose its color, choose its font. I recommend having all the headings and text be the same font so that your website looks nice and professional. You don't want to do all this kind of crazy stuff. I'm just showing you, all the little different settings that you have access to. All right, so same thing for here. We already went over this for the title, but these lines, you can click them, you can go to style, and you can change the color of the line. I'm gonna go with the red since we've been using red for everything. Like that. Let's make it red. And we can see it went red. We can change the weight or the thickness of it. Make it really thick. Like that. And the gap is how much space is on each side of the line. We can give it more space or give it less space, just like that. So same thing for the pictures. If I click on a picture and I go to the style for that picture, I can change its width or its size pretty much. I can change its height, how tall it is, its width this way, how wide it is. I usually don't like to change these because it kind of breaks the picture, kind of makes it look ugly. So I usually only change this one because this one keeps the picture nice and scale. So we saw this picture's kind of bigger than these two, but we can actually shrink it down and get it to be the same size by doing something like that. You can change the opacity so we can make the picture a little bit more see-through or solid. And the border radius is for the corners of the picture, just like the button. If we add a number in here, we see that it gets a curve, and the higher the number, the more it curves. We're going to leave it square for now. Same thing for this title, and even for the text paragraphs. Even though you can edit it with these tools, it also has a style option where you can change the alignment like this. You can change the text color, and you can change the text font and all those other options as well. Same thing for this title right here and this button. And I'm going to show you one more cool trick. So let's say that you got this layout and let's go back up here. You customized it and you made the button however you want. Now, it would be kind of annoying and take a long time to go to every button and plug in the same settings over and over again, right? Well, we can actually right click on the button and we can get this little toolbar right here and we can click where it says copy. And if we scroll down and hover over a different button, we can right click and we can see where it says here paste style. And what that does is basically paste all the settings that we plugged in so that we don't have to plug it in again. See, just like that. Also, we can do that same thing for anything else. So I can copy the style of a heading and I can put it on another heading. So for example, I could put it on this one, paste style. Now it disappeared because the text is white. So I need to change that color to something else. But it basically copied all the styling as far as the typography and things like that. We can do the same thing for these lines. If I copy this line and then I paste the style to the next line, it's going to pretty much make it the same, and that's going to save us a lot of time. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do, we saw how to replace and change the content and change the style of how things look. I'm going to show you how to delete content. So maybe you don't really have a use for this icon. Maybe you don't want the icon. Maybe this section is too big with this icon here. We can right click on it and we can click delete. And that will actually delete that icon from the page. We can do that with any element. So here, for example, we have a list of 4 things. Maybe you only have 2 or only 1 thing to write. So we can delete any item by right clicking on it and deleting it. And this way you don't feel overwhelmed, and you can delete any section that doesn't really apply, or maybe a section or an item that you just don't really have a use for, just like that. We can delete any buttons, any title, any text. You can delete anything that is not useful to you. Maybe you only have 2 services and not 3. You can delete those things as well. You can also delete entire sections. So for example, let's say you don't want this button down here, or actually a better option would be this section right here. Let's say you don't really have something for this section at all. You can actually press the X right here and delete the whole section if you don't need it. You can also delete columns. So you see when you hover over here, you get these little pencils for each item, but you also get this little gray box. I don't know if you've noticed it. You can actually delete that gray box and it'll delete everything that was inside of it, and now you only have 2. But what if you need more? You can also add things. So if I click on this gray box and instead of delete, I click duplicate, I'll get another gray box, and I can click duplicate again on this one, and now we actually have 4, even though we started with 3. And in these, I can come in here and put a new picture, type in a new title, and type in more information. And if I needed 4 sections, now I have 4 sections. And you can do that with any element on the website. So for example, let's say that we want another heading under here, right? We can right click, we can click duplicate, and now we have another heading to work with. So that's how you can delete things, and how you can duplicate and add things as well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I make mistakes a lot. For example, right now I made a lot of changes, but they're not actually very pretty. Now, I wasn't trying to make it pretty because I'm just showing you. But what if you made a mistake and you don't like how it looks, and you want to put things back how they were? Well, Elementor has a tool for that. Here on the bottom left, we can see that there's an option called History. And if we click that, we can actually go back step by step and undo each change we've done one at a time. Or we can even scroll all the way back to the beginning. This records every change you made, so you can go back to wherever you were happy with it in case you made a mistake. So I'm going to scroll all the way back to the beginning and click to when I started editing. And that's going to load everything back to normal. So I can show you how to make the website pretty now that you have a better understanding of how all the settings work. So to save that, we're going to click Update right here. And when it turns gray, it means it saved the current layout. So now let's design our first section. So the first thing I want to do with this first section here is make it a little bit smaller. It's way too big. And what's making it big is this icon. It takes up way too much space. So let's click on this icon and let's make it smaller. How do we do that? Well, we know there's content and there's style, but there's one more option, which is advanced. And advanced controls the spacing around whatever item we're editing. Whether it's an icon or a heading or a button, it controls the space around it. So this thing here called padding is how much space is on the top, right, bottom, left. This is how much extra space you want to add. And we can see that there's a really high number for the top, which is making a lot of extra space here. So if we lower this number, you see that as we shrink it, it kind of goes going up. So let's change this number to 100. Okay, that's a little bit better. Still way too big. Now we want to shrink the space over here. So most likely the space over here is coming from the settings of the entire section. To edit the section, we're going to use these 3 buttons up here. And every section on the website has that. So this section has its own 3 buttons. If I scroll down, this is a different section. This one has its own 3 buttons. The X is to delete. I showed you that already. And now we're going to use this middle one here. So let's scroll to the top. And when we click here, it's going to show us the layout, the style, and the advanced options for this entire section. So the first one we see here is content width. That's how wide it is from side to side. And if I make this smaller, you can see that it squeezes everything into the middle. It's kind of squeezing the amount of space where everything can fit. And if I make it bigger, it gives everything more space. So let's put this back to where it was by hitting spacebar. The next thing we can check is the style. And we can see that here in style, we can change the background image. And we can also add some extra options here. So if I click here, I can change the background image, and we can choose one from BIGSAVE. So I'm gonna close that off here, and the reason is because here we can search from BIGSAVE, but sometimes this search doesn't always show up. So in case they remove this option from BIGSAVE, I'm gonna show you how to do it just in case it's not there. So we're gonna go to bigsave.com. And this is a website where you can get free images and videos, and let's search forest. You can search for whatever image you want, depending on what your idea is or what your business is. So you can see all these pictures are available for free, and they're really cool and really high resolution. And if you find any image that you think is really nice and that you want to use on your website, all you need to do is click the image, and then you can click free download. And you can choose the size you want to get it in. I like choosing the one right before the biggest one so that our website is still pretty quick, but the image is clear. So we're gonna click download and check I'm not a robot and click download. Then we can go back and you can download a couple of images that you like for your website. There's tons of things. So for example, if I was a doctor, I could write doctor. You see that we have images related to that. If you're a painter, you can write paint, and you see that we get images for that. So just put in whatever kind of images you want to use on your website, and you'll get a ton of really cool HD images that you can download. So you've got your image, and now you want to add it into your website. So to add it in as a background, we're going to click right here in the middle of the section. We're going to go to style, and then that's going to give us the option for the background. Now we're going to click upload file to upload it from our computer, and we're going to click select file, and here is our image. We're going to click open, and it's going to download. And now we can click insert media, and it's going to make it the background of our website. Now let's go ahead, and the next thing I want to do is shrink this part right here. To do that, we're going to go to advanced. Advanced is what controls the spacing once again. And we can see that the spacing is kind of big, so let's change this to 100 as well. Alright, looks much better. Now you'll notice that when we scroll, the image stays in one place and the words move. We can actually change it if we want to by going back to style. And here where it says the options under the image, where it says attachment, you see it says fixed, we can change it to default, and that way the image won't scroll anymore. So another thing that I noticed is that it's kind of dark. I can't really see the picture that well. That's because there's an overlay on this. So we can change that by clicking here where it says background overlay. And we can see that there's a black color right here. And the opacity is 50%. So if I reduce that, I can actually make the image brighter or darker. And we can even change what color is being put on top of it. For example, like that. And we can make that color brighter or darker. So I want to make it, I want to leave it as black, just not as dark. I want to use a little bit of black just so that the text is easy to read, but I want the picture to be visible. This heading up here, I don't want to have that, so I can right click and delete it. And I want to replace this text to a title that I think would be great for a website about Earth. So here is my title, and I want to have a sub headline right under it. So I'm going to duplicate this one. But I don't want it to be the same font. I want it to be a little bit smaller. So we're going to go to style. We're going to go to typography. We're going to make it capitalized instead of, oops, wait. This text is capitalized, so I have to edit that. So we're going to leave this as capitalized. We're going to make the font a little bit smaller, like this. And we're going to add in our subheadline now, like that. So I want to make it a little bit bigger because I kind of want it to match the size of the first headline. I think that would look really good. So let's go back to typography and let's make it bigger so that it lines up. Perfect, that looks pretty good. But you can see that there's like a lot of space between these two. So let's move this one up. To do that, we're going to go to Advanced, which is what controls the spacing around the item. And we're going to use Margin. Margin lets us move things outside of their box. So margin controls the space outside of an element, and padding controls the space inside of an element. So we can unlink the values because they're all going to be different. And here at the top spacing, we're going to put a negative amount. So we're actually going to click down, and that negative number is going to make it go up like that. And I want to line this up a little bit better, so let's go back to Style, and let's make the font a little bit smaller till it lines up. Perfect, 58 is the place to be. All right, there you go. So now we have our front section, it's looking great. We have our headline, we have our button, and we have this little arrow letting people know to continue to scroll down. But it looks a little bit small. Things are in the way of the main image here, and I kind of want to separate this a little bit more. So a really easy way to add space between two elements is to come up here and click on this little grid. And these are all the different things that you can actually add into your website. So for example, if I wanted to add a heading, I could just drag and drop it in, just like that. It doesn't have any styling, that's why it looks kind of crazy. But you can edit that. If you wanted to add an image, you could drop it in right there as well. You can drag and drop anything into your website. So right now it looks kind of crazy. We obviously wouldn't do it like this, but you can if you want to. So we can undo those two things. And what we're going to drag and drop in is a spacer. So there's an element here called spacer, and all that does is add some space. We're going to put that right there, and we can increase how much space it shows like this. So let's do 100. Perfect. All right, now the last thing I want to do is I want there to be two buttons next to each other. So I can right click on this button and click duplicate, but they're on top of each other, they're not next to each other. But we can actually create two columns by adding in a different element. So we're going to click here again to go to all our options, and there's an element called intersections, which we can drag and drop right here on top of the button. All right, and that gives us two columns. We're going to drag and drop one button into one column and drag and drop the other button into the other column. But they're way too far away, so let's bring them together. First, we're going to click on this button. We're going to go to Content, and we're going to align it to the right. Then we're going to go to this button and align it to the left. Perfect. So now we can choose what each button is going to link to. So for example, we click on this button, and this one can go to the About page. There you go. And we can change this text to About Us. And then this button can go to the Contact page, and we can call it Contact Us. And we can link this one to the Contact page, like that. All right, great. So let's click Update to save those changes. We can close out of this download if you haven't already. All right, great. So let's take a look at this section before we move forward. To preview your website, we can click this little eyeball right here, and it's going to show us what our website looks like so far. All right, there we go. And we can scroll down and see the rest of it. But we've completely customized this section. So I can see a couple of things that I want to change. This title is too close to the top. Let's move it down a little bit. And we need to make this background just a little bit darker so that the menu is easy to read. So let's go back to the home page. All right, so what I'm going to do is reduce the amount, this space right here. Maybe we can make it 60. And I'm going to duplicate this. So there's two of them, and I'm going to drag one of them to the top. And this is a really fun and creative way to use and recycle different elements of your website. So we're going to update that again, and it's going to automatically update the preview that we have open here. And we can see that now the spacing is much more even. Now let's just make this top section here a little bit darker. So we're going to go back to home. We want to edit the background, so we're going to click here to edit the section. Make sure you're on Style, Background. We scroll down, Overlay, and I don't want to darken the entire thing. I just want to darken the top. So we can actually choose a gradient instead of a solid color. And if we have two colors, we can make it look like this, which kind of looks cool. But I'm not going to use it. You can if you want to. What I want to do is have it be dark at the top and have it be transparent and show the picture at the bottom. So here at the top, it's already on black. I'm going to leave it there. And here is the second color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to white. And I'm going to make it completely opaque, just so that I can see the gradient. And what I want to do is make the black just be at the top and make most of it here transparent. So with this option here that says location, I can drag it, and you can see how we can see how much space the black takes up. I want it to just take up the top, so I'm going to leave it all the way down to 0. And I want the second color to take up most of the space like this. All right, there you are. Let's even it out just a little bit like that. All right, great. And now here where the opacity is, we can change the opacity. So we can make white completely transparent like that, which lets us show the image in the back. And we can reduce the opacity of the black a little bit as well right here, putting it at 75. And we can click update to see what that's going to look like. All right, and that will automatically update the preview. And now we can see that we can see our picture, and we have this black shadow up here that lets us be able to see the menu. So as you can see, we've completely redesigned that first section. It looks completely different, and we've given it our own unique style. Now let's go back to the page editor, and I want to just reiterate one thing. Don't forget that you guys can move around every single item. You can move them around. Nothing is locked into place. Everything is completely customizable. Even these columns, you can put your mouse in the middle and you can change the size of these columns as well by just hovering your mouse in the middle and getting that little slider like that. You can also go here to the elements and you can drag and drop anything in. So let's say I want to have an image up here. I could drag the image up here. I can go to the images. I can choose an image, insert it, and then go to style and adjust the size of the image like that. So you can move anything around. You can adjust the size and width of columns. You can use the advanced option to adjust the spacing, and you can drag and drop all kinds of things like buttons, text, headings, images, dividers, even a Google map. You could plug in a map there if you wanted to, just like that. You can even plug in a YouTube video. You can drag and drop the video like that and paste in the URL. You can do anything you want with this website. If you make a mistake, you have the undo button once again. So we can undo any change that we made like that. And another thing before we go to the next thing, we just finished creating this section, but we want to make sure that it looks good on mobile devices, on your phone. How do we do that? Well, if you look here to the bottom left, once again, next to the history button, there's this little desktop icon, and it says responsive mode. We can click that, and we have a couple of options. We have tablet and mobile. And if I click on mobile, it's going to shrink down our screen to the size that it would be on a phone. So right now, this is what our website would look like on a phone. So once you go into mobile mode, any changes that you make here will only affect the mobile view of your website. It won't affect the desktop view. That way you can customize each side without affecting the other. So for example, here I can see that this text doesn't line up properly, so I can come here and edit this heading, and we're gonna need to make it a little bit smaller. So let's find a text size that looks good on mobile, like there. And we have to adjust this one as well. So let's adjust this text as well, like this. And we can see that now it's too close together. Let's go to advanced, and let's go to margin, and let's adjust that to the correct amount, like that. This spacer here, we can shrink it. We don't need it to be as big on mobile. We can see here that these two buttons are not lining up. So we want these to be next to each other as well. So we can do it two ways. On mobile, you can either pick the button and center it, and then center it like this. That looks pretty good. Or you can also click here to edit the column. And then here where it says column width, that's how wide is the column compared to the page. We can actually change this to 50%. so it only takes up half of the width, and then go to this column, change this one to 50%, and that way they both fit next to each other. We will just have to adjust maybe the font size, right, so that they both fit. So we would adjust the font so that it looks good here, like that. And now we can right click, copy, and paste the style to match the font size. And now we've adjusted our first section to look good on mobile. The good thing is that if you do decide to use a template, it's already pre-designed to look good both on desktop and mobile. If you customize your section, all you have to do is go into the mobile option and make sure that it looks good. You can also check the tablet view. For most modern tablets, the desktop view will look good on the tablet as well. But you can check it right there, and you can see that maybe you want to align this to the left or right for it to look good, but everything else lines up pretty well. So once you've made those changes, you can click update, and let's go back to desktop mode. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is how to create a completely brand new section. So we have this About Us section, we have this section over here. We can edit and delete these or add to them however we want, like I showed you. But what if you want to add a brand new section, not edit an existing section? Well, you can do that. That's what the plus sign is for. So let's say I want to add a new section right under here. I can click the plus sign here and add a brand new section. But before I do that, I do want to show you that the same way that you can move around elements, you can move around sections. So for example, if I wanted to move this up, I could hold here and drag this whole section up. And I'm showing you guys that you really can move everything and anything around. You can even move these columns around like this. You can move the elements around like this. There really is no limit. You can edit and move things however you would like. And let me undo those things right there. So let's say we want to add a brand new section right up here. Well, we can click the plus sign, and then we're going to click the plus sign here to add a new section. And here it's going to ask us how many columns we want it to have. So just so that you can remember, these are columns, these little gray things. So they're actually the ones that split up each section. And inside of columns is where we can put our different elements. So for this one, I'm going to choose 2 columns. Now, in case you needed another one, you don't need to start over. You can just right click and click add a new column. Or if you chose more than 2 and you want to remove one, you can click delete on a column as well. So on this column, I want to have a really nice big title on the left and a button on the right. So to do that, I'm going to drag and drop the heading in to the left. And next, I'm going to go look for a button and drag and drop a button into the right. Now here, I can type in my headline. And in the button, I can type in what I want to say. And then I can choose what the button will link to. Perfect, but the section is really small. We have to make it a little bit bigger. It's really narrow. So let's go here to the section options. And we actually have an option for height, which is how tall the section is. We can make the section taller by adding more things. Like for example, if I stack these two, it'll get taller. You can also add height by going to advanced and adding padding. So there's more than one way to do something. I'm going to show you how to do it with the height option. I like using a minimum height and then using this option here called vertical height, which is a percentage. So for example, if I put 50, then this section will take up about 50% of the screen that is available on any monitor. And if I put 100, it will take up 100% of the screen. The reason I like to use this one is because it doesn't matter what resolution or size the screen of the person seeing your website is, it'll always take up the same amount of space. So let's do something that looks good, maybe 75%. That looks pretty great. And the next thing we're going to do is add a background. And I want to show you a few more background options that you can do. You can do a lot more than just an image to really make your website pop. So let's go here to the section layout. Let's go to style. And then here you have background options. So we know that we can have an image background. So for example, we can come here to our media library and let's pick 2 or 3 images. Well, let's just pick this one, for example. and we have it as a background. It looks kind of crazy. That's because of the settings. You want to make sure that your settings are always centered and the size is always cover so that it covers the entire screen. And this picture is a little bit blurry. Let me choose a different one. Okay, perfect. I'm using the same one just as an example. Okay, so we're gonna have the image right here, but let's say that you want to have the image change occasionally. Well, you can do that. If we go here to slideshow, we actually have the option to add more than one image. So I can choose this image and I'm gonna upload another image from my computer. So you can download images and upload them, and we can choose both of them, and I can click create a new gallery, insert, and now you'll see that automatically it will transition between the two images. So you can have 2 or 3 images and have them slide through and it'll look really awesome. But that's not all. You can do even more than that. You can actually have a video background as well. And the only thing you need is the link to the video. So this video can be a video from YouTube, a video from Vimeo. If you have a video on your computer, you can upload the file and then you choose that video as well. So I'm going to use YouTube as an example. So I already have a link to a video that I want to use from YouTube. It's this really cool nature video. And if we scroll through it, we see it has a lot of cool different shots from different wildlife. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to paste the video link right there. And you'll see that it starts showing this really awesome video background. How cool is that? All right, so we can also choose what time the video starts and when it ends. So maybe the first part of the video is kind of boring and you want to jump to like a different part of the video. I could put, for example, 50, and then it'll start from 50 seconds into the video, or 55. And let's say the end of the video, you don't like the end of the video. Well, you can choose for the video to end, at however many seconds it starts to get boring. So you can kind of choose the exact portion of the video that you want to use, which I think is really awesome. So this section here is looking pretty cool. Let's edit this text a little bit. Let's make it centered. And because it's hard to read, let's make the text color white. And let's make the font a little bit bigger. And now this button, let's center it as well. And I want to put it in the middle of this column. So we can go here to the column options. And there's this option here called vertical alignment. So we can align everything to a certain spot. Now I could move this to the middle by adding padding at the top or by dragging and dropping in a spacer. But I like using vertical align because it makes sure that everything is perfectly in the middle. So now I can click update. We can close out of YouTube and let's refresh our website preview to see how it looks. And if we scroll down now, we can see that we have our really awesome video section. Look how cool that is. And I'm seeing here that I kind of want to make the video a little bit bigger. It's kind of cutting off the video here. So let's make this section, go to layout and make it a little bit taller. Let's do 90, just like that. And click update. And let's refresh this page. And here we are. How cool is that, guys? And now if you wanna, you could even, let's say that you like having the video more, you could even copy this link from here. And you could put the video section over here. So I could come right here, go to style, change this from a picture to a video background, plug in my video, click update, and refresh here. And there is my video background. How cool is that? Looking pretty awesome. All right, so I'm gonna leave it as a picture for now because I kind of like this image. And let's say you want to have this section, but you don't want to have it right here next to this other image. Well, I can grab this right here, drag it down, and I can put it right here, for example. There you go. So now you can see that we've rearranged our sections. We have this title, these services, this really cool image this really cool video section that looks awesome, about us, more services, and then a learn more button down here. So you can customize the website whichever way you want, and you can make it look truly unique and truly awesome. So that kind of covers all the different ways that you can edit your page. Let's click update to save these changes. And let's click here to review, and we can close out of our editor now, and we can see what our website looks like. Let's refresh. And this is the website homepage that we've made so far. And it was pretty quick, it was pretty easy, completely custom. We didn't need to use any code or anything like that. How cool is that? Now, what if you want to edit the other pages on your website, like your About Us page? Well, I can click here on About, and I click Edit with Elementor. And I can edit this page just the same that I could edit the previous one. All the pages work exactly the same. I can click on an item and edit it. For example, these numbers, I can click on here and see what the starting number should be, what the ending number should be, any prefix, what title should go under, all those things. We can click style and choose the colors and typography and fonts, all the same things that you could do that I just showed you. You can move things around just the same. You can drag and drop things in just the same. You can edit this page the same way. You can click the plus sign to add a new section, or click the X to delete a section. You can do all the same things. And another cool thing that I want to show you, if I click here preview on the bottom left, and I go back to my home page on this tab, keeping the About page open, and I click Edit with Elementor again. So I'm editing both pages at the same time. I can actually scroll down, or actually, well, anywhere on the website, but just as an example, I can right click on the center here. I can click copy. I can come over here, and I can hold right there and click paste. And I can copy and paste an entire section, and I can just update the text here to match what this page is about, update the button, and change the video. And I can do that with any part of the website. So I could copy this section and paste it over there, or I can actually just copy this title, for example. I can copy just the title and then come in here and paste just the title. So you can copy and paste between pages that you're editing. So if you spend a lot of time creating a really unique custom section like this, you don't have to redo the work again. You can copy it and paste it from one page to another, and then edit it a little bit more to make it unique for that page. So let's click update to save that and preview. Now, what if there's a page that you don't need? For example, let's say you don't have any products, so you don't really need a products page. Well, there's two things that you can do. The first thing you can do is delete the page, and I'll show you how to do that. But you can also edit what the page is about. So I could click Edit with Elementor and change this. Instead of saying products here, I could write gallery, and then it would be my gallery page. So I could come in and make the page about something else. But what if you don't need it at all? You just want to delete the page. You don't want it there. Let me show you how to do that. We're going to go back to our dashboard by clicking on our page title. We can close out of this tab. And we're going to go here to where it says pages. And these are all the pages on our website that we have right now. We don't see all of these because these are not on our menu, but they do exist on our website. And any page that we don't need, for example, the projects page, we can click here where it says trash. And that will delete the page and it'll go to the trash bin. We can also delete any demo pages that the website comes with sometimes. And you can delete anything else that you might not need. So we've gone ahead and deleted the pages. So if we go back to our website, we'll see that it's not there anymore. We don't have that page as an option in our menu anymore. Now, what if we want to add a brand new page from scratch? We can do that as well. So to do that, we're going to go back to our website title. And we're going to go here back to pages. We're going to click add new. And we're going to give our page a title. Let's call it gallery, for example. All right. Now here in the settings, there are some things we have to choose. So for sidebar, we're going to put that we don't want it to have a sidebar. We want it to be a nice modern website that goes full width. the content layout, full width stretched, and then we're going to click here where it says publish, and just confirm by clicking publish again. And we're going to get this pop-up that says we can view our page, so let's click it. And here's our page. It looks really empty because there's nothing on it yet. So we have to actually add to this page and design it, of course. But before we do that, let's add the page to our menu. So how do we add a page to our website's menu? Really easy. Let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go to appearances and then menus. And here is our menu. Now you can see that there's this option here that says invalid. It's because we deleted this page, so it doesn't actually exist anymore. So it's showing in red. We can click right here and then click remove since that page doesn't exist anymore. Now on the left hand side, we can see here where it says pages, and here is the gallery page. We can choose it and then click add to menu. And now this is our menu here, and we can choose what order the menu is in. So I can drag and drop to see where the gallery page goes, and I want it to go right next to the about page. You can also make drop downs here. So for example, if I wanted this to be a drop down, I could just plop it over here like this, for example. And if I save this just to show you, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to right click and open this in a new tab to keep the menus open. But that creates a drop down menu. So we have to edit the colors of the drop down menu because right now the text is white, so you can't see it. I'll show you how to edit those, but that is how you would make a drop down menu. But for now, since they're all different things, we want to keep them all in the same plane. So let's click save. And now if we refresh our page here, we'll see that we have our new page on our menu. So to edit this page, because we're editing it with Elementor for the first time and it's a brand new page, it doesn't have a template. So since it doesn't have a template, WordPress doesn't know to automatically use Elementor. So we have to edit with Elementor a little bit differently just the first time. Then you can go back to editing just by clicking it from the top menu. So just the first time, you have to go to pages and then go here to the new page and click edit. And then we're going to click edit with Elementor up here. And now we have this very familiar page editor that we know and love. So we can open a new tab and we can copy and paste sections to help us get started on this page, or we can click the plus symbol and start creating our own sections. So for example, we could have this section up here with a heading. Let's throw a heading in there. We can have the next section with a paragraph and an image in it. And then maybe the next section is going to be a button like that. And then we just have to style it, of course. This can be centered. We already know how to come here and go to style and set a background for this. We already know that the settings for the background are centered, cover. We already know that we have to make this section wider by going to layout, going to height, and making the vertical height a certain amount that we like. We know how to center text on the column. We know how to choose an image. We know how to align and link buttons. We know how to go and add spacing to the buttons like that. And let's say we wanted to add a gallery. This is a gallery page after all. And let's say we want to add a gallery right before the button. We can go here, and there is an image gallery option. If we scroll down a little bit further, there's even more. So there's image boxes, icons, image carousels, gallery, icon list, tabs. There's a ton of stuff here, and they're always adding more. So let's drag and drop in the gallery. And we can select the images for the gallery right here. And let's pick a bunch of them like this. And click insert. And that's going to automatically create our gallery right there. So let's click update and preview. And just that easy, you created a brand new gallery page. Now this page I did it kind of fast, so it's not as pretty as the other one, but you get the general idea. You can edit the page, you can use a template, and you can make a page from scratch as well. So the options are limitless. So the next thing that I want to show you is how to customize your website's title and tagline, that's what shows up here in the tab. So to do that, we're going to click here where it says customize. And to edit this right here, we're going to go here where it says header, and we're going to go to site identity. So here is our default logo. I'm going to show you how to fix that right now. And here is our website title. It just says website and tagline, just another WordPress website. The title will be whatever you wrote when we got started, but let's say you want to update your title, you can do that as well here. And the tagline is kind of like your website's slogan. It shows up right next to your name on the tabs, so you can write whatever your website slogan is, just like that, and that will update the title and tagline. Well, what about your logo? Well, if you don't already have a logo, you're in luck. I'm going to teach you how to make your own logo completely for free. Okay, so to make our brand new logo, we're going to click the plus sign right here, and we're going to go to a new website called logomaker.com, just like this, without the E. Logomaker.com without the E. We're going to hit enter, and we can close out of this video. And here you can search for any kind of icon or graphic that you want. You can use this for your logo, or if you just want a cool icon for your website, you can use this to find icons. So let's search up Earth, because that's what I want to use. And we see we get all these really cool icons that represent Earth. And I want to use one of them for my logo. So let's keep scrolling till I see something that I like. And this one is pretty cool, so I'm going to choose this one. And we can highlight it and change the color of the icon to whatever we want. We can also add in more icons. So for example, if I put in rocket, I can see that I also get different icons for that. You can search anything you want, and you can mix and match and combine them. So let's click this rocket, and I can actually mix and match it like this. So for example, I can make this small, and I kind of want to make it look, there's like a little rocket leaving Earth, which I think is really cool. Like that. And let's say I want that to be my my logo, right? You can also add text if you want to type something in. And you can, of course, highlight it, change the color, change the font up here. So you can do all those things too if you want to have text in your logo. So I want this to be my logo. So what I like to do, I like to have two versions of it, one in black and one in white. One to use on a clear background and one to use on a dark background. So to save it, we're going to click this little save icon right here in the top right. And you can pay for a really HD version of the logo, but for us, for the website, we can use a normal version. So we can click no thanks, download the low resolution file, and it's going to automatically download. So we're going to close out of here. And now I want this logo in white. So I just need to drag and drop to highlight both things and drag to white. So even though I can't see it, it's there. It's just the background is white. And we're going to click save. And no thanks again. And now we have two versions of our logo, black and white. So now we can close out of Logo Maker. And here where we were editing the logo, we can click change logo. And we're going to click upload files. And we can close out of this downloads. Let's click select files and just upload the two logos that you chose. And click open. And here are my two logos. And I'm going to click the first one, the one in black, and click select. And we're going to click skip cropping because I don't want anything to be cut out. And that's updated the logo. Now this has updated the logo for the normal header. This here is a transparent header, so we need to go somewhere else to edit this transparent header. But we do want to set up the logo here on the settings so that anywhere else on the website that we need to pull it up, the website knows what the logo is supposed to be. Next, we also want to set up the site icon. which is the little icon that shows next to your tab. So click select icon. And I like using my logo as the site icon as well. So this one has to be a square. So unfortunately you have to crop this one. So I'm just going to crop it so that the rocket comes out, and I'm going to click crop image. And now we see that our icon is showing up right there. So now let's set up the logo for the transparent section. Before we do that, let's click publish to save our current changes. And then we can click this little pencil here to edit this logo. And here it's going to take us to another settings, and this setting is for the transparent header. So let's click change image. And for this one, we're going to use the white logo. And let's click choose image. And that's going to update our website's logo. How cool is that? We can also adjust the width of the logo if we want to make it smaller or bigger. Sometimes people like making their logo really big, but it actually looks much better if it's nice and modern and doesn't take up too much space. So I think 95 looks good. So let's click publish. And we can close that up here. So you've got your custom logo, your custom menu, a brand new page made from scratch. You've edited this template, you've drag and dropped, you've made video backgrounds. You are now ready to customize your website however you want. The last thing I want to show you is how to edit this button right here. And this button you can link to wherever you want. To edit that button, we're just going to click here where it says customize. And we can hover over here to the button and click on the little edit pencil. And here it's asking us what we want. So if you want to have a button that goes to a special link or a special page, you can have here where it says button, or you can just make it go to nothing. And that will get rid of the button altogether. So if you want to use a button, you can click button, and then you can, here where it says button link, you can paste in the link to wherever you want that button to go. In my case, I don't really have anywhere for the button to go, so I'm going to click none for now. And then I'm going to click publish again to save those changes. And let's close that up here. So we've customized our logo, our header, and our website page. The last thing we need to do as far as the customization is customizing the footer. Now this footer has a ton of links. If you're just getting started, you might not have all these links. I know that when I got started, I didn't have all these links to all these different kinds of pages. So let me show you how to edit that. This footer was actually made with Elementor, which is really cool. So we can click here where it says edit footer. So this is the footer, and we can edit it the same way that we edited our pages. So we can click on any of these elements to edit them. We can drag and drop things around. We can go to all our options and drag in images. Like if you want to have your logo here, you could just pop in your logo, for example. And now you have your logo in your footer. We can change these titles. We can add a section. We can even put a video background on the footer if you want. Now, you don't want to have a ton of video backgrounds because that can slow down your website. It has to pull up a lot of videos. But you could have an image background or a gradient, whatever you want. Now, in my case, I don't have all these links to fill out. So I'm actually going to close out of here. And I'm going to make this pace here a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go to the options for this section, go to advanced. And I'm going to reduce this padding like that. And I'm going to click update. And I'm just going to keep my footer nice and simple like this. Your copyright, you can leave powered by if you want right there. Let's preview that. And when we click preview, it's only going to show us the preview of the footer. So that looks pretty nice and simple to me. Now we can erase all this extra stuff and just go back to our website page to see what that looks like. And if we scroll down, we can see that we have updated the footer to be more simple. But if you want, you can keep all the stuff in there. You can add a background, you can add images, you can make your footer however you want. So let's go ahead and close out of the footer editor. And one more thing that I want to touch upon is on the contact page. So if I go to the contact page, on any of the layouts that you can install, you'll see that there's a contact form. Now this contact form is set up to go to the email that you signed up with. So when we were signing up and plugging in the title and you plugged in your email, that's the email that this contact form is set up with. So if you want to edit the contact page, it works exactly the same way. We would click edit with Elementor. We can edit the title, the colors, the fonts, the backgrounds. We can move things around, we can drag and drop things in. Everything works exactly the same. Super easy. You can change the text, links, change icons, change colors and fonts for everything, exactly the same. But if you click on the form, you have this little code right here. So that's kind of weird. It doesn't look like anything else on the website. So this form is coming from a plugin that was pre-installed, and it's creating this form for us. So anywhere you plug in this code, you'll get a form. So for example, if I want to have another form, I can add a section like this. I can use something called a short code. That's what those things are. Drag and drop it in there. And if I paste that code in there again, I'm going to get another form just like that. So that form is by default connected to your email that you signed up with. So what if you want to edit this form? What if you want to change what these things say? Well, it's really easy. Let's update this, and let's jump to the preview to get out of Elementor Editor, because the form isn't edited with Elementor. So to edit the form, we're going to go back to our dashboard by clicking on our website's title, and we're going to see this plugin here called WP Forms. You see that? We're going to click right there. And if we scroll down, we see we have this contact form. We can click edit. And this is pretty much our contact form that we have made. If you want to make a change to your contact form, you can click on any part that you want to change. Maybe you want to change it so that instead of it saying your message, it says, tell us about yourself. So I could erase this and put tell us more, like that. And I can click save. You can also delete a section. So let's say you don't want them to have to put their name. You can click the little trash icon to delete that. Or let's say you want to ask for the person's phone number. We can go here to where it says add fields. And we can see that we can add a single line, a paragraph, multiple choice, numbers, check boxes, name, email. So let's add a single line just to ask a question. And we can put a title here. So let's call this one phone number. And now people can write their phone number in here and send it to us. So let's click save. And now that it's saved, we can click the X to exit out. And if we go back to our website by clicking on our title, and we go back to the contact page, we'll see that now the form has the name, phone number, email, subject, and now it says tell us more. So if you need to change what email this goes to, let me show you how to do that as well. Let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go to WP Forms again. And let's click Edit Forms. And we're going to go to Settings this time. And we're going to go to Notifications. So here's where you would plug in the email. So for example, if I want this to go to my email, I would just type in I create your site @gmail.com. And you can add a comma if you need to have more emails in there as well. So once you plug in your email, you can click Save. So it's good to always check this. By default, it usually plugs in your email, but just in case it didn't, you can also type in your email. So once that's saved, you can X out of there. And we're almost done with the website. So we've done all the design portion. You know how to edit the menu. You know how to edit every page and create sections and move things around and change their styling. And now you can make sure that your contact form works and that it's sending to your email. So what are we missing before we finish? Well, you might have noticed that the whole time this has been saying not secure. And you definitely don't want people to think that your website is not safe. So how do we fix that? To make your website safe, you need an SSL, which is the little lock that you see on a lot of websites when you visit them. So how do you get that? The good thing is that Hostgator gives you that automatically for free. You just need to activate it. Let me show you how to do that. We're going to go back to the dashboard. We're going to go back to plugins, and there's a plugin that we're going to use that's going to help us activate our SSL. So we're going to click Add New. And the plugin is called Simple SSL. And it's this one right here, Really Simple SSL. We're going to click Install Now. and activate. And we can see that now it says go ahead, activate your SSL. It detected it. So let's click right here, activate the SSL. And when it activates the SSL, you'll see the little lock, but it's also going to log you out. So you need to go ahead and log back into your website. So click login. And it might ask you to verify that your email is correct. Let's click yes, this email is correct. And now it's letting us know that our SSL is activated and we see this little lock. There's one more step we need to do to make sure the SSL works on all the pages of our website. We're going to go to Elementor and we're going to go to Tools. And we're going to go here to replace URL. Now, when you get an SSL, your URL actually changes. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my URL right here. And I'm going to paste it to show you. We see that now our URL starts with HTTPS. Before, it did not have the S. It was just HTTP. So here, we're going to plug in our old URL. And here we have our new URL. So I'm going to plug this one in here. Just got to delete the S. So HTTP, HTTPS, that's the only difference. And we're going to click replace URL. This is going to check our whole website, all our files, everything, to find any URLs that did not change to HTTPS. Because any URL that did not change will automatically make our website look like it's unsafe and not secure, and the little lock will not show up. So it actually found 19 rows somewhere on our website. Could have been a picture, could have been a text file, who knows. Somewhere on our website there were 19 things that were missing it, and it fixed it for us. So let's click OK. Let's go to General. Then we're going to click Regenerate CSS and Sync Library. This is not really necessary, but I like doing it just to make sure everything is refreshed and up to date. So now if we click on our title again, we can see that now our website is showing that it is secure, which is awesome. So our website is safe, and look at the website that you've made. You have a completely custom website with sections and titles, completely unique to you, video backgrounds, and all these amazing things that you can do. So I really look forward to seeing the kind of websites that you guys make. Don't forget, once your website is done and you're ready to publish it, remember to come here to Under Construction and turn that off. Very important. Don't forget to turn that off so that people can see your website. So once you turn it off and it looks red like this, your website is now visible to anybody that visits it. So guys, I hope this video helped you. I hope you create an amazing website. If you have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments. Please remember to like this video. It really helps YouTube show it to more people. And remember to subscribe for more videos just like this one. I hope you make an amazing website. I look forward to helping you guys more, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.